What's up, guys? It's John, and a lot of us ride the subway in New York City and never pay attention to any of the details. But let me tell you, this place has a lot of history, interesting stories, and even some secrets. So make sure to leave me a comment because I want to know you're watching. Here we go, New York City subway tips, tricks, and secrets. We're gonna start this list off with an abandoned station, but it's not just any abandoned station. The mythical City Hall subway station, built in 1904, in use until 1945. This was once the gem of the entire system. It sat dormant for over 70 years, and there's just two ways to see it. One is to take an official tour with the New York Transit Museum. It's gonna run you $50, and these sell out really quickly. The other way is to get a free sneak preview if you're feeling a little bit adventurous. Here's what you do. Take the 6 train downtown to the final stop in Manhattan, Brooklyn Bridge, City Hall. Stay on the train. You'll likely have the whole thing to yourself. As the train wraps back around uptown, look out the window, and there you have it, City Hall Station in all its abandoned glory. Just imagine riders from a century ago waiting here. This is New York City history, folks. If you're like me, you always have exactly $1 left on your Metro card. Well, what if I told you there was a way to beat the MTA and put exactly the amount of money that you're gonna need on your Metro card? Check this out. I admit this math isn't mine. I was a journalism major, so I can hardly count. It's from a statistician named Ben Wellington. There's 2 numbers to remember to put on a new Metro card after the $1 fee. 2230, which is exactly 9 trips. 2725, exactly 11 trips. Both of these will leave your balance at 0 every time you need to fill up, saving you just a little extra money. Beginning in 1953, tokens became the currency of the subway as coins went out of style, and they were in service for 50 years until 2003 when the Metro card became mandatory. But I'm gonna tell you something about tokens that you probably didn't know. A little subway history and secret for you guys. My viewers who've lived in New York a long time definitely remember the token slots at stations. You can still see them covered up at some places even today. There was an old scheme where criminals would jam the slots with gum wrappers and then suck the token out, netting them up to a $1.50 reward. Pretty gross, so in order to combat this, some station employees would sprinkle chili powder or pepper spray on the slots so the would-be assailant would get quite a spicy surprise. Needless to say, this was still a common crime even until the last days of token use. This townhouse located in Brooklyn Heights may look like every other one on the block, but I assure you, it's not real. It's actually owned by the city and the MTA, and there's some interesting stuff going on inside. Look at the black windows. Lying behind this is a hidden ventilator for the New York City subway system, as well as other equipment. It also serves as an emergency exit. This may be one of the most expensive decoy houses in the world, considering the neighbor's home is valued at $6 million, and you'd never know it wasn't real, but I just told you. This station may look familiar to you if you're a fan of music videos. Michael Jackson's Bad was shot here in 1986. They shut down the entire station to film a music video classic, and there's signs of it all around here. This has to be the pinnacle of Hoyt-Schermerhorn Station in Brooklyn's history. The place looks largely the same as it did back then. Unfortunately, the platform that they filmed on is not available to the public anymore. It's under construction on the other side. It's insane to think this 18-minute video took parts of 6 weeks to film, but the next time you walk around this station, think about its place in music history. The New York City subway has plenty of opportunities to see art. Sometimes you just have to look right out the window. A classic that I discovered once by accident is called the Mass Transiscope. Sit on the right side of the Q or B train from DeKalb Avenue heading to Manhattan and enjoy what looks like an old-fashioned movie projector. One of my personal favorites at 14th Street and 8th Ave Station, titled Life Underground by Tom Otterness. There's over 130 sculptures spread throughout the station. Otterness said a lot of work is about class, money, and crazy, surrealist images. He really nailed it with these pieces. My favorite's the sewer alligator. Track 61, located beneath Grand Central Station, is a secret train platform that had direct access to the now closed Waldorf Astoria Hotel. It was used in the past to bring in visiting dignitaries, including then President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, whose car was lifted through the Waldorf's elevators to hide his worsening case of polio. Rumor has it visiting presidents today can still use it as an emergency escape route. You can only access it with special permission, or if you're lucky enough to do a tour with the NY Adventure Club. Need a get-out-of-jail-free card? What if I told you that the MTA would write a letter to your employer if you're late for work? Head to the MTA's website. This could come in handy if your boss thinks you overslept and you were really just delayed on the F train. This feature is utilized over 100,000 times a year. Pretty crazy stuff. Are any of you feeling like stepping back in time? During the holiday season, you can take nostalgia trains, which are straight out of the 1930s and 1940s. Imagine standing at a station in the city and having one of these old subway cars pass on by. You'd think it was 1935, but this is actually part of the nostalgia train line done every December courtesy of the NY Transit Museum. Check their website for more details, but these trains are the real deal. From the old-fashioned seats, the ads inside, even the straps are from decades past. I've never ridden this myself, but I'm planning on dressing up and getting in on the fun this year. Say hi if you can find me. If you made it this far, how about some random facts to impress your friends? 1. If you laid out the subway tracks in New York City from start to finish, you could go from New York to Chicago, a distance of almost 800 miles. The New York City subway is by far the busiest in the United States with over 1.7 billion riders per year, but it's just 7th in the world. Tokyo is number 1 with almost double the amount of riders. Did you know it's actually illegal to put your feet up on the subway and that people have gotten tickets and have even been arrested for that offense alone? Guys, let me know what you thought about the list in the comments. Hit like and be sure to subscribe for more awesome videos from New York City. We've got a ton coming up. Thank you so much for watching as always. Until next time.